Welcome back. If you're just joining us now, we're just in the middle of a conversation with the Synergy Credit Union CEO, Les Mesper, and the former Synergy Credit Union CEO, John Vinek. Now, we're just talking about the merger here. Mr. Vinek had some very spirited points right before the break about rates. What does the rates look like if these three banks do end up merging?
I just want to come back for a second to the point that John was making about affiliations and that's what we should do as opposed to merge. We looked at that seriously. The fact of the matter is that when we're dealing with other businesses, they will only give us a better deal if we're one company. We just got a proposal last week, for example, from one of our major supplier companies, and there was about $15 million more benefit being offered in the future if we merge as one operation, one credit union, as opposed to us being standalone individual companies. So the proposal was made to all three of the credit unions that are planning to merge, not just one of us on our own. So certainly that point that John raises, I do think there's some validity to. We would just as soon try to operate on our own if we could and offer the same benefits. We don't feel we're able to do that through an affiliation model as we are through merging. The points, and back to your point about rates that John was making about us being sort of swallowed up by the other two credit unions and them not performing as well as us. First of all, the other two credit unions, and we can't announce on their behalf, but they're very close to completing their year-end results for 2010. They've both had very strong years in 2010. One of the other credit unions, in fact, even had a better year than we did. And as John noted, we're one of the top performing credit unions in Canada. So I would counter the point that's been made about us joining with two other weak credit unions. In fact, they're very strong. We're the three top performing credit unions in the province that are planning to join together, planning to make an even stronger credit union tomorrow. In our business case, we forecast there's going to be $78 million in added benefit in the first 5 years of operation. And that is not from increased service charges that's been alluded to. That is not from increased interest rates. That is from the efficiencies of joining together, forming one company, now three today, and all of the economies that come from that.
Now, in John's letter that he wrote to you last week too, he said, a lot of the time in these mergers, the upper management get richer, the lower management get poorer. Is there some validity to that point as well?
Well, the point that there's going to be one CEO of a larger company, the larger a company, the more the leader gets paid. I can't counter that point. However, there's one, not three. There's also one executive team of approximately 6, not 15. You do the math. If there's 6 people, not 15, there's going to be less money paid out at that level. If there's one CEO versus 3, there's going to be less money in total paid out at that level. That carries on throughout the organization where there's fewer of a lot of things. We need one auditor, not 3. So examples like that mean that our total aggregate costs are going to be substantially less as one company, not 3. And we are not planning to increase service charges. In fact, the business plan calls for service charges to remain as is, possibly reduce.
Now you said me to do the math. I'm sure, John, you've already done the math. What is the math on that?
Well, the $78 million works out to, if you divide it by 194,000 members, that's $402 per member per year. If you divide that by another 12, it works down to $80. That's over the 5-year period. $80 per member, or $6.75 per month. That's what $78 million relates to. So it's really 194,000 members, and again, it's big numbers, sound big, but really that's not a real big sum when you're talking on a $6 billion organization. The other thing is the business case has not been released. Like we're asked to sort of believe that all this is going to come true. This is the first time that I've heard they're not planning on increasing service charges.
Right, and
that's
sorry, why is the business plan not released? Just to interject there
I can
quickly.
speak to that real quickly.
Okay.
The fact of the matter is that you have 3 companies that have done an extensive amount of research, and that research has found its way into about a 100-page business case document.
And it's not being released because...
That business case is a confidential document to the 3 boards of directors of the 3 companies, and John would understand that. John's been on numerous boards provincially and nationally, and that's not meant as a slam. John would understand the need to keep those kinds of things confidential, because our competitors would like nothing better than to see all the details that is in that business case. And if we release it publicly, guess what? everybody, including our competitors, get their hands on it.
Okay, but you are
No,
calling
but-
for more information,
But
right?
at the information meetings, one of the directors said there should be some portions of that information that could be released, and then nothing happened. It didn't really get released. So again, we were left wondering, well, where are all these numbers coming from? Like, how
Right.
are they adding it up? And like Les made the comment about, we may be saturating our marketplace here, but merging isn't going to increase the size of our marketplace. So I mean, this is, like, I can't see how that's going to increase our amount of business here if we're already saturating. I think what's happening here is our board and management are losing faith in this community. It's still a very vibrant, growing community, and I think we should be here for the long term rather than saying that we're reaching our potential.
Well, gentlemen, we obviously haven't come to any conclusions here. Where do we go from here?
Well, we believe strongly that this merger is the right thing, and we've advertised publicly that we've got 6 meetings coming up starting next week on January the 18th, 19th, and 20th, and then again the 24th, 25th, 26th. And at that time, interested members can come out to any one of those 6 meetings. In fact, they can come to all 6 like I'm doing and hear it lots of times. And then at the end of the 6th meeting, vote and decide. They don't just have to come to one meeting and decide. They can come to any one of the meetings or multiple meetings.
Right.
And hear more, take part in active discussion, and then decide at the end of all of that process what seems right for the future of their credit union and make an informed decision.
And where are you going from here, John?
Oh, I'll be attending some of the meetings as well. I'm not saying I'm going to attend them all, but still very interested because it's still my primary financial institution. And I mean, I've been happy with the service and just don't want to see it slide on us. And Les makes some good points that were not made earlier, but again, he said some of our comments are conjecture, which means lacking in proof, and it's because the board hasn't provided sufficient information. And again, the board never provided one negative point. They didn't say there was one negative to this merger. They just put a positive spin on it to try to convince people, well, this is the way to go. There must be negatives, and if people are being fair to the membership, if the board are being fair, why wouldn't we list some information and some pros and cons and then let the members make a logical decision rather than all of it being hyped towards the merger? When we've seen what's happened recently with innovation and Swift Current North Battleford.
Well, thank you so much for coming in, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure to have you.
You're very welcome.
If you're just jumping in now, this has been our conversation with CEO of Synergy Credit Union, Les Mesmer, and the former CEO, John Vanek.